which I like that because and why do you say that? Because you one of the only people that's brave enough to say, hey guys, I like money.
Yeah.
Why do you say that? And why do you want that billion rand portfolio? Why do you want to be rich? Look, you're already rich. Why do you
So,
want more money?
so it's quite simple. I grew up in a shack, right? I grew up with my grandmother. Poverty to me is not an academic subject. I've lived through it. There's nothing anyone can tell me about poverty that I don't know. You understand? So I've lived through poverty, and so for me, I know it can never be God's plan for anyone to live through poverty. You understand? The only place where people experience poverty, in the Bible is when they were not in the right standing with God. You understand? So it's never a right thing. You understand? It's never a right thing. There's nothing godly about poverty. So that's number one. But number two is, even in that state, I understood the principle of giving. I understood the principle of adding value. In that state where I was poor, I would share my clothes with the guys I was around with, right? I would share my food with the guys I was around with at the time that we were fellowshipping together. I would share everything that I have with the guys, right? And it's a matter of the more I can have, the more I can be able to share. You understand? So if I was able to share from a point of lack, how much more from a point of having? Do you understand? So that's the second thing. And the third thing is, in all honesty, Leroy, this emanates from my belief in God. And that is why I say I like money, not love money, because I believe love is reserved for two things and two things only, and that is people and God. You understand? We can like things. I can like my clothes. I can like my car. I can like money. I can like things. But love is reserved for God and for people. You understand? So I believe that it is God's will for us to prosper and to be in good health, and that's the thing. If not through what I do, then through my life, let people learn that it is God's will for people to prosper. You understand? If not through what I do in terms of my business models, but let people learn through my life that is why a lot of people don't like talking about where they come from. They like to talk about where they're going. You understand? I do both because why? I get to inspire someone who's in the same position I was, 20, 30 years ago. I get to inspire them to know that it's possible for them to get to live a better life. You understand? To experience in life, where they are, where they come from. At the same time, I then get to inspire people on what's possible, going into the future. So yes, I do like money. It's not about. Here's the thing, Leroy. Right? Here's the thing. Let me give an example. Um, um, this is quite personal. I'm not sure if I have the go ahead to
Go,
share it
go
from
for
my
it.
wife.
Go for it.
But
Oh, from your
but
wife. Okay.
so here's the thing, man. It's never about money for money's sake, but it's about the freedom money allows you to have. It's about the freedom of choice. It's about the freedom of movement. It's about the freedom of association. Money gives you choices. Money gives you freedom to do stuff that you would rather really want to do than to be forced to do stuff that you don't really want to do. That's what money is all about, right? So if I want to choose a private schooling for my kids versus public schooling, you understand? I must be able to do so and not have money hinder me from doing that if that's what I want to do. If I want to take my kids from a public hospital, I want to send them to a private hospital because I believe they might get the better care money can buy. So I should be able to do so. No one should ever die because they can't afford to get cancer treatment. No one should be able to die because they can't, afford to see a specialist, that a public hospital cannot provide, So that's why money is important to me. And I want everybody to understand this. Money is important because, anything that's worthwhile doesn't come cheap. You understand? So our children should not be forced to go through stuff they don't really want to go through because of money. You understand? We should be able to live life according to our own terms, and you know, and according to our heart's desires, right? And not have money hinder that. So that's what at the basic it's actually all about.
There we go, guys. Money, you can do more. God wants you to be healthy, to be wealthy. You can